Hello and welcome to another Captain's Table podcast. My name is Paul Berserker01 Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender at the Astropub, your professor on the Astro Historian, and your moderator here on the Captain's Table podcast. This is a podcast about Star Citizen lore, news, and more. We talk about anything to do with Star Citizen, where I bring people from all over the Star Citizen community to talk about the game. Today, I'm joined by Axis, Darge, and Fastcard, and we're going to be talking about where are all the aliens? It's Alien Week coming up, so I figured it'd be nice to kind of sit down and talk a little bit about aliens. Note that it'll probably talk about the aliens again closer to the actual week as well, maybe the end of the month, because originally we were going to have Red Monster come on and talk, but he couldn't make it, and he can't make it back again until the end of June. So, well, we may have to do a little bit. You maybe see this a couple times, and I might be able to get Major Star Stuff on and JL on to talk a little bit as well, but we'll see. But for now, let's introduce the folks here come joining us, starting with Access. Who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen? Where can they find you?
Greetings. I'm your resident crazy person who lives in Tornado Alley. My name is Axis0096, and I am found on Twitch, YouTube, various names and such, but I guess you can leave me on... I predominantly stream on Twitch and YouTube.
Okay.
Under the pseudonym Axis0096.
All right. Then we've got Darge. Who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen? And where can they find you? I'm sorry. Let me do your full title.
Just
your full title.
Yeah.
Darionator.
We had this conversation how like you people don't abide by my titles, but now apparently we're just fully dropping them our way.
Americans. Prince of Pluto, Emperor of Uranus, Mr. Darionator. Who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen? Where can they find you? First off, your shirt.
Yeah. You like?
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I do.
How much?
Don't think we can sell.
Yeah.
But it took me 6 hours.
Nice.
So that's time I'm not coming back unless I flaunt it like this.
Yes.
Yeah. I am Darionator.
Would you take it off?
Fastcard.
Hold on.
It's only 2 minutes into the stream. All right. You gotta down, boy. Down.
It's fast card. It's not slow card.
Yeah, exactly. Please continue.
As Jade had said, Darionator, but shortened to Darge, just because that's how everybody calls me. I stream on the Captain's Table.
You do?
That's pretty much where you can find me on Twitch.
You do more than just that for the community, though. You are the lead modeler for JRDF, so
that is correct. I'm lead modeler for JRDF. We just recently returned from Con 42, where we saw a bunch of lovely people, primarily from the German community, but also from elsewhere. Me being from elsewhere, it would be weird if I was the only one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun. Sold quite a bit of kits. Sold more than I was expecting. That was nice. So there's still a market for us, and even though there's it's very nice to see other people dabbling in the hobby, making stuff for themselves. There were a lot of people showing stuff off, but I gotta say, just I gotta say that it's in my contract. But yeah, that's what I do. We recently released the Saber Raven, which is in store on the store right now. I'm currently working on Gladius, but somebody keeps changing it, so now I have to talk to like either John Crew or someone else on CIG's team and go, WTF, mate, and maybe get access to like, is this the final for real this time .max file for the Gladius, or is there still changes coming up? But yeah, Gladius coming up soon, very soon, and then potentially something non-combat that is well overdue for a kit. Yeah.
May I make a suggestion for one of your kits? Why have you considered doing armor sets on a figure?
That would mean introducing a whole new scale. that, and we need to figure out like just what sort of size we'll be dealing with here. And a lot of people are talking about and asking for uh like a completely customizable thing with posing. Yeah, and sure, we'll just get right on that. So you can just do your own little character and have it 3D printed. That's just that there's so much that would go into that, and there's just
Definitely want to make sure it's okay with CIG too.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, no. Everything that we release, everything is licensed. It has to be
Yeah.
licensed and
And
okayed both from the art department and from legal by CIG.
I,
It
I,
is their IP.
I have also been in this conversation with JR because that is something that JR talked about early on, was doing like little
Mhm.
minifigs, similar to
Mhm.
like, 40K or any of the other ones, like doing little versions. Um, that's a little bit more, it requires a little bit more work, and it's a different sort of, it requires a new scale, which will require retooling and that kind of stuff. So
Uh, Currently, the largest scale that we have is 1 to 40, and a character in that is this tall.
yeah, it would be very small. So you need to have a much higher scale, and I don't know if we have
Yeah,
the actual like
maybe 1 to
printers.
10.
Yeah,
No, wait, no, 1 to 10 would be this tall.
yeah.
Yeah, because I did what did I do in 1 to 10 something? Yeah, 1 to 40 is just how it's one
That
of
is
those
tiny.
things
I
that
can
if you want
barely
to
see
paint.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what. Yeah, exactly.
To give you
Like if
context,
you'd need like a single hairbrush if you wanted to paint that.
this is 1/28 scale. It's 32, I believe. Or like, is this the Warhammer scale is like
Mm.
1/28, or I believe that is.
Yeah, I was going to say Star Marines, Space Marines are much bigger
Yeah,
than
they're
even humans in Star Citizen, right?
yeah. So something like the scale of like a typical gunpla, like even your like, medium-sized gunpla is pretty big.
Yeah, it's about my Jim here. This Jim Command. He's about 1/100th, and I think it's, what did you say this is, Paul? 8 inches or 10?
Somewhere between those two. And the thing is that one
If oh wow, that's the male size scale
size
coming through.
scale.
If that's if that is 8 to 10 inches, then I'm eating my underwear.
I'm glad it wasn't me. I'm glad it wasn't me.
One
We're getting out of
1/28. Yeah, then that guy's 9 foot tall. So if you're looking at a 6 foot tall, you're probably looking, if you average, you're still looking at a pretty big scale. And I don't think you're gonna have like
Mm.
the Weta workshop figures that Piss Poor Pete's talking about, and the like for Warhammer, or like the action figure scale is huge. So,
Yeah, we need to first decide on like the size, and then figure out like the closest scale that would work for us. That's
mhm.
still in sort of like because we went. I don't know why, but we went with a scale that doesn't match other model makers. Like you said, like the Warhammer stuff is 1/28. Like what why is 1/28? We went with 1/40 because it's like a nice round number. So
Yeah, and most model makers do 1/32. That's 1/32 or 1/38 is most model makers for like wargaming stuff. That's typically like tabletop,
Mhm.
like even like figures you see for like board games are about the same, that scale. So yeah.
Mm. Right. And the last thing, just to answer something from chat before I let Fastcar speak, I don't have any completely new stuff to plug, but this fella is going into final concept. So
Nice.
it'll be 1 to 500, 400. It's missing the nose, as you can see, just because that's going to be a separate piece.
Yeah.
Just so you have something to do with the thing, when you put it together. But yeah, it's going to be about this size. It'll have its own little stand, and I believe it's just small enough to have two in the package, not four like you have, like say with the Gladius 1 to 500
Mhm.
or an arrow, but not just one like with a cutlass.
Yeah.
We'll see.
With a
Not,
freelancer.
not decided on that yet. Yeah.
All right. And last but certainly not least, I am quaking in my boots because Fastcart specifically asked to be introduced last. Fastcart, who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen? Where can they find you?
Hey, the final frontier. These are the voices of Who's Your Daddy? This continuing mission to explore a strange new world, to seek out new holes and new orifices, to boldly go where no human has gone before. All I want to do is just zoom, 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 and a boom, boom, just take the rump. All I want to do is just zoom, 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 and a boom, boom, just take the rump. Folks, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely more of a Captain Kirk than a Picard when it comes to diplomatic relations. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Greetings, I am Fastcart, also known as SC. Put these glasses on so I can read. I am a producer for Soul Citizen. I don't know for how much longer that's going to be happening. We have our show every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UTC. Plus, we're starting a new show called Lord Lighthouse soon.
Ooh.
And I'm also here to promote Quantum Vegas, an event taking place in Area 15 in Las Vegas on July 12th, with the Bar Citizen happening the night before in the same venue. Prices will be going up soon. Today was supposed to be the last day. You get a price for $99, but we're extending that, and I'm not sure if Paul knows this because this is new. We are extending it to the 10th, so you can get the price for $99 until the 10th, and we hope to see you there. And Paul, you still want to call me the Neelix of Star Citizen?
Yes, I'm still going to call you the Neelix of Star Citizen. You are the ambassador. You're the last official ambassador of Star Citizen, and but with that,
to be fair, I took so long that we are well past 10 minutes of the start.
I know. I'm going to say that.
Yeah, so you can say that.
So we're safe. We're safe.
But I will also, you speak of Quantum Vegas, because I did just finally, after many proddings from Griff, get my promotion out for Quantum Vegas. So I'm going to show that real quickly for those of you.
We have the video. You have the video?
Yes, I do. I have it up. I'm going to pull it up right now. So I'm going to mute us here, and then I will we'll watch this real quickly, and we'll be right back, chat. So this is Quantum Vegas, so you can learn a little bit about it. And make sure you now have until the 10th to buy the cheaper tickets at $99. So let's go with this. Citizens of the Verse, get ready. The ultimate Star Citizen fan community event is happening in Las Vegas. That's right. Join me Saturday, July 12th at Area 15 in Las Vegas, Nevada for an awesome day celebrating Star Citizen and the community that makes it possible. Panels, special guests, giveaways, and more. There's even a Bar Citizen the night before. This is the Star Citizen event of the year that you don't want to miss. Seating is limited, but tickets are on sale right now, so grab them while they're hot. We'll see you at Quantum Vegas 2955. By the community, for the community.
For tickets and information, visit quantumvegas.space and follow our social media on X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Quantum Vegas 2955. By the community, for the community.
All right, there we go. So, check it out.
It's in Area 15.
Yes, it's in Area 15, which is not a subsection of ArcCorp. It is an actual location in Las Vegas.
So it's just a happy coincidence.
It is a happy coincidence.
No, they literally wanted it to be 15. It's reversed to 51, but yeah.
Yeah, it's the reverse of Area 51. Yeah, but it's also funny because it's got a lot of internet. It's actually pretty internet famous. It has. Part of it is it's got its own ARG, built-in ARG, which is it has a built-in ARG, which is in the facility itself, which is a fake grocery store, where if you solve the puzzles in the grocery store, it unlocks a secret area you can go into the grocery store itself. So, but it's
Because
That's
you
cool.
cannot quantum travel. You can take a plane there if you want, but
Yes.
no quantum travel. Sorry.
Yeah,
Um,
it's only our corp shuttles.
yes.
Mm.
But there's also like a
Also-
couple of
also-
other presentations there as well. So it's a neat little nerdy place to go to as well. So
I didn't post the website for JRDF, so I'm gonna do that now.
Do
Here
it.
you go, chat.
JRDF.se, and of course for Quantum Vegas, it's quantumvegas.space. I will be there. Fastcart's going to be there.
I'll be there.
So you can see us there. You can meet us live. CIG members sending people over there, but it's going to be a bunch of us together. So it's like I've been saying it's kind of like an American version of Con 42 or BCon, that kind of thing.
How many people are expected to be in attending?
I think we have
As many as we can get.
Yeah.
Sure, but give me a ballpark figure.
So are you
Hundreds,
flying out?
It's
thousands?
hundreds. It's hundreds.
No,
It's hundreds.
Yeah.
hundreds. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah. So it'll be about Con 42's size.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
and
So
we also don't know how many people will actually show up. So we do have limited seats, but we can expand them.
Yeah, we
if
do have
need to.
limited, yeah.
So
And
so
like I said, the
there's
price will
like-
go up on the 10th. So it's $99 until the 10th, and then it'll be $125. So get the tickets
there's some
through.
foyer seating or whatever they call it.
well, it's not seating.
Foyer
It's
seating.
it's sort of an event. So like you'll be able to, the ticket gets you into, it's like a convention where you'll be able to get into where we need to go, and there'll be some seating there for like the conversations that we're gonna have with CIG and that kind of thing. But it's mostly going to be we'll have some panels and stuff like that. We'll have I think we have a couple of vendors. I don't know how many vendors we have, but like
Yeah, we have a couple.
Yeah.
And there will be giveaways too.
yeah,
$99
Stay tuned for that.
isn't too bad.
not
I've
for
been to several conventions around here, and some of them push over 300. So
Yeah.
you're doing good, guys.
yeah that's-
Yeah, I went to one a couple of years ago in Los Angeles. There was like 200
yeah.
for 2 days.
Well, yeah, no. So 99 is sort of helps us cover.
I
the,
think
the
I went to the
cost.
same one, and let me tell you, the cost for flying halfway across the world is slightly higher.
Yeah.
So
All
are
right.
you flying out, Paul?
Yes, I'll be flying out. So with that, let's get started with the discussion for today, starting with you, Fastcard, on this one. We're talking about aliens in Star Citizen, non-human entities. The thing that I often get questioned about, because I do a lot of lore and often bring up the various alien species, is people talking about, well, where are they? We have a couple of alien ships in the game, but like we don't have all of them. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to aliens is the alien ships themselves. Why don't you think we have so many alien ships? A, and B, what alien ships do you want to see either that are not released yet or that you would want to see more of in the future? So I'll start with you on this, Fastcard. Starting off with, why don't you think we see a lot of alien ships in the verse right now? Like, what's the reason why CIG isn't doing that?
Well, I don't know about you, Paul, but who the dad is going to be a putty boat. So, and it's going to be my Veiling, definitely. But why I don't think we have as many alien ships. I don't. Yeah, TIG like to have a manufacturing language or design language for each ship, and it does evolve as they make each ship. So I don't know if they want to make. They did the Banner Merchant, the Banner Defender, and they're supposed to be making the Banner Merchantman, which is going to be similar to, but expand on the manufacturing design language for the Defender. But I don't know. Maybe it's just typically too hard. And in the past, they said that when they have more ships that they want to do, it becomes more worth it for them because they will be using the design language more than once. But for something like the Banner Merchantman, which as far as we know, those would be the two for the Banner. You have a bunch for the Vandal. The Vandal are covered, but they're saving those for Squadron 42. They got the Tivaran with the Prowler, and I don't know, like pretty sure they can probably expand the Tivaran language as much as they could expand the Banu design language. But I don't know. They just haven't done it yet. Maybe it's not a priority because it's Quantum 42, or something else is happening in Star Citizen. So I mean, like I said, this year they're trying to take care of the bugs and stability. I'm hoping for the real soon. I'm hoping for the bad enrichment soon, but who knows?
Is there any other
Oh, I was
non?
gonna make a stupid. I was gonna make a stupid joke that Imperator Messer brought up a bunch of baseless tariffs against the alien races to make human spacefaring industry, great, and
Oh my God!
bullshit like that.
Let's not start that.
Let's not get into that.
No.
But
if you're going to say that, then I can say the tariff or the problem. That's the real problem.
that's the
but we're
problem.
not going to get into
UE
that.
tariffs.
Yeah.
Fastcard, is there any other ship other than the Raylan and the Merchantman you'd like to see from alien manufacturers? Any specific type of alien ship you might like to see?
I would like to see vehicles, like a brand new vehicle or
Ground vehicles.
any kind of vehicle from the aliens. Personally, I think we're covered when it comes to. I think we're covered when it comes to like transport or fighters, but maybe a miner or a salvager
Mhm.
from an alien manufacturer might be cool.
You think the new Prowler variant could be like a vehicle dropship, like something that the Prowler has like this splayed out tail in the back. Do you think like that could be like hold on to like a single seater Tavaran hover speeder tank, like mini tank this thing could swoop in, drop, and then bug out again, and then the little tank just continues
So
on the
like
ground.
an Asgard version for the Prowler.
Yeah, but more like more like super fast instead of being armed to the teeth and and just
We'll
drop in and then
talk
wait for some stuff to unload.
Let's save
Because
theory
I just
crafting on
got that idea and I want it now. And
well, we know that now. But Darsh, you're same question to you about like
yeah.
why don't you think we see as many alien ships?
I'm gonna counter with we haven't seen any truly alien ship. It's like everything's designed to be operated by a bipedal organism the same size as a human. So
Mhm.
it's all basically human coded,
Yes.
right? It's weirdly it has exotic design languages and materials that aren't used within human engineering, like stone and and hover stuff, but
The
I
closest I can think
really
of Darsh is Sulin.
yeah, that actually is like the closest we got to something completely original
Mhm.
in terms of but a small upstart human space company could have done that as well. It's not like completely alien, like completely out of the box.
Yeah.
In terms of uh
You
ship
still
design.
operate it with like sticks or some other
Yeah, two hands in
Yeah.
a seat, and just because you're facing up instead of forward, as soon as you've taken off, you just rotate 90 degrees and you're just facing forward again. It's like
So what you're saying is that like the aliens of Star Citizen are more akin to the aliens of Star Trek than they are like
yeah,
or even like most of Mass
pretty
Effect,
much.
Mass Effect species, as opposed to being like truly alien.
Yeah, and I get it, and I get why, because having so many different types of skeleton for animation rigs is a expensive thing to keep track of, and if humans want to do one of those ships. Or they should own one of those ships and operate one. It's going to be difficult, but I think that's the point. It should be difficult. It should be like one of the things that the Banu do is like create special variants of their no yeah variants of their ships to be used by humans.
Mhm.
But they kind of missed the mark by actually making the true proper Banu variants like completely unusable by humans instead of just slightly
Modified.
inconvenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
To actually answer your question, like Vasco said, Squadron 42 is it's taking priority right now. It's as soon as that's done, I'm sure they will split off the ship teams, because there's been a drought. Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, we
And
have a handful of alien manufactured ships.
Yeah.
Currently available in
I mean, even
in
the
the BU, and we
Tavaran
have
ships
over
aren't.
100 humans.
Yeah, like even the Tavaran ships aren't alien manufactured. They're made by humans. They're just replicas of
Yeah.
Tavaran vessels.
They're made by
Yeah,
Assyria.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think the Nox is the same way.
Yeah. I think the Nox is an import version because it's made by Aopoa still. So,
Mhm.
Oh,
It's
it's a
in the same
TMD.
vein. It's in the same vein. The Nox and the Noxku. It's
Mhm.
in the same vein as the Sula. A
Yeah.
lot closer to their original
The
variants.
the funny part about it is that the story behind it is hilarious because the Xi'an are masters of anti-gravity, and they never thought of making an anti-gravity bike until in the joint human Xi'an colony on the border. A human bought a Drake dragonfly and took it to the Xi'an colony side to check up on them, and they were like, "What is this?" And they're like, "Oh, this is the new Dragonfly by Drake." And they're like, "We've never thought of using hover technology to make a bike." So they drove it around and then told the people in Xi'an space about how much fun they had, and Aopo was like, "We can take our anti-grav technology and put them into bikes." So they developed the Nox and Nox Q off of Drake. Like Drake is the originator of hover bikes. And
And you know how
So Nox is
scary that
actually
is?
ZDM. Wow.
yes.
It's not JDM, it's ZDM.
ZDM, yeah.
I have to wonder if that's also some more side eye by the UE military and their hatred for Drake, because they gave a great inspiration not to Aegis, not to RSI. They gave it to Aopoa,
Yeah.
who's not even under their control. They're like, we'll remember this.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
we
then,
will.
you have the talk, which is the manufacturer for Wayland, and that is, hover technology or anti-grav technology out the wazoo. So, yeah.
Darsh, the last part of that question is there any alien ship you're looking forward to releasing? And is there any sort of type of alien ship that's not out yet that you'd like to see?
Oh, just like something to be an analog to every pretty much every ship that we have made by humans, industrial stuff primarily, mining, salvage, uh, yeah, manufacturing. I'm thinking like an alien take on manufacturing once human
Ooh.
manufacturing is done would be very
Like a
interesting.
Banu builder?
Yeah, something that it's basically supposed to be like what what's the CNOU one
Pioneer?
Pioneer. The Pioneer was
You took
supposed to
my
be like
idea. I was just about to say that.
three like that it just pops down and then like pops down and then 3D prints a house that as lifts up and
Yeah.
then just goes up to new location. That'd be cool, I think.
Axis, same story for you. First off, why do you think we don't have as many alien ships? And second of all, are there any alien ships that are coming out that you're looking forward to, or ships that haven't released that you'd like to see?
You guys are going to love my answers.
Okay.
One of the reasons why I think we haven't seen as much of a push for alien anything up until now is because they are focusing on other things like Squadron 42 and such. However, with better motion capture, they'll probably be able to animate and rig, Tavaran, Banu, whatever. They're probably figuring it out now. They've got Wicklow. They've got a general idea of what the Banu mannerism is, the subculture, the text. You get it.
Yeah.
But for the reason why we don't see so many is we, unfortunately, with the Merchantman, we had an entire staff leave, an entire group of people who were focused purely on the Merchantman leave, and that is unfortunate. It's going to have to go back to the drawing board. But I might also add that's a very large leap for a ship to go from a small, which is basically what the Banu is, to a capital.
Mhm.
And in
Yeah.
lore, the Banu at least have a constellation-sized ship mentioned called the Trip Taker. Now, for me, me being the person I am, I think they want to start with a middle road to kind of grind out the details, like they did with the MSR. The MSR is big, but not as big as the C2 or the A2,
Mhm.
because they want to grind out that language on more of a medium ship.
So you're saying that we're likely to see a Banu trip taker or a Banu industrial ship before we see the merchantman again because of
Yeah,
that
like a
design.
stepping stone ship. Yeah,
Because that's what they did with the. That's true. It's what they're doing with the ironclad. With the ironclad as a stepping stone um, to the Kraken
Kraken.
and
Kraken.
the
That's being reconcepted. Yeah,
yeah.
Which is what will happen after they figure out the ironclad and everything they can do with that,
Yeah.
and then the reconcept will use all the things that have learned by making the ironclad. Yeah,
And the
I wish
Polaris
the
was
Fatal
the stepping
here.
stone for the Perseus and so the other ships, and we know that the Arastra is the stepping stone for the
Orion.
the Orion. So yeah, so like that's definitely their new MO is to do these stepping stone ships. So go ahead,
I
Axel.
kind of
Sorry.
want to add that Jail will probably agree with this comment I'm about to make. It might also have to do with the orientation of the culture that is making the ships.
In what way?
Vandul, as you know, are very warlike. They don't technically have cargo ships. They don't technically have medical ships. They're kind of more of an offensively oriented species. Whereas the Banu are more of a trade, cargo, mercantile type civilization. And then we have the Xi'an, which might have diplomatic ships for negotiations. They're very shrewd politicians, so keep that in mind.
So
And,
Well,
like
you say that, but wars are won by one thing, and Paul will say, exactly. Well, no, what I mean. It starts with
logistics.
L.
Hmm.
Yes, exactly.
logistics.
So even the Vandul, who are a warlike race, the
Wow.
Klingons, they are acutely aware of the necessity and the need
That's what I
for
was going to say.
other
From an outside
support stuff.
observer,
Yeah.
from an outside observer, they would, but they still have cargo vessels,
Yeah.
but they function
And medical.
differently.
Yeah.
And medical.
Yeah, exactly. So like every ship is primarily built for combat, but it also has capacity to do other things like
Yeah.
repair and salvage and mining for resources and stuff like that. But yeah, but
So-
I have a question.
Go ahead, fast car.
So real quick, so you mentioned that you having stepping stones. So they built the Sayulan for Gatak, and I guess the stepping stone for that would be the Raylan. So you think that from the Raylan they're gonna have like a bigger Gatak ship after that? Maybe.
Here's the secret, fast card. They already do, and we've seen it.
Oh, I forget about that.
It's
Is that the
it's the ship in Squadron 42 we've seen.
I'm going to go on a record and say it's some. Oh, sorry. No, you first, Darsh. You first.
is that the one in Squadron 42 where the character is walking like inside like a stormy
Yeah.
room that's
Yeah.
like that's not that's like trying walking on the inside of a cylinder?
Yeah.
Because that's where like a cartwell is supposed to
Show up.
making its appearance.
And there's a dead Xi'an pilot that's floating in space, like as you flow by it.
Okay, Darsh, you brought up an interesting contrast.
I will say one thing, Axis. I will say this is this was mined out of the files in like 2016. Like the fact that it was a large Xi'an cargo
Okay,
ship.
so that's
So-
that's probably why I forgot.
Yeah.
Old
So I
data.
didn't hear about
Yeah.
it.
But it's probably been updated since the 2016 data.
yeah.
mine. So go ahead, Axis. Sorry.
But Darsh brought up something very interesting for civilizations. He brought up Star Trek.
Mhm.
Now,
Paul did, but yes.
I did.
I'm gonna ask you some questions, Darsh, because the
I thought it was Star
Federation
Trek.
is more like the UEE, sort of. But who would we have that's the Banu analog, the Vandal analog and the Xi'an analog, because they're
That's
very
Ferengi.
different.
That's easy.
Bandwood Ferengi, yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty much,
Ferengi.
just because they're all about mercantile Vandal, Klingons,
Klingon, yeah, Vandal.
Xi'an, the
Xi'an-
Romulans.
Xi'an.
They're
Rom-
the Romulans. Yeah, they're the Romulans.
Romulans, yeah. But
Okay.
are Romulan are the Xi'an that much into xenophobia and counterintelligence as the
Yes.
Romulans, though? Or are
Not
they more
necessarily as
open?
xenophobia, but definitely counterintelligence. Everything is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're kind of like the Romulans and the mixed with the Vulcans and the Cardassians, because they're still like a
Oh, right, Cardassians. Okay, yeah,
counterintelligence.
Cardassians would be
Everyone's trying to stab each
another-
other in the
yeah,
back,
yeah.
you know, that kind of thing. So
Mm.
Trying to figure out
Yeah,
who
yeah.
the Borg analog would be.
the Krthog.
Apparently the Cartwell.
Yeah.
No, the
So,
Kartak,
so,
yeah,
so,
the
so,
Katak.
so
the
it's saying
Kartak
that
and the Kartwell.
the,
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
the Xeon cannot count to 4 because they always see 4 light. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
But
Well,
my
the-
question is, who would the Tavaran be then?
They would be the because they're already part of the human species. They would probably be more like the Andorians.
Andorians?
A warlike species that was sort of absorbed
Okay.
into the larger culture.
That is a good analogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can buy that. I can buy that.
It's
But the
almost
reason
like
I'm-
every IP is like a copy of another one.
Yes, it's almost
Funny how that works.
nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun, you know, as said
The
in
reason
the
I
fucking
brought that
Bible.
up-
I mean, we do have like 100 years of sci-fi.
Yeah.
That start in 1920s.
The reason I brought that up, though, Paul, is they all have like generalized ships, medical cargo,
Yeah.
whatever, but they have like a unique attribute for their civilization, which means we're probably going to see ships along those lines in Star System very similar. Like
Yeah.
the Vandal, they're more multi-purpose, but their main focus is combat and conquering. And the Xi'an, they're diplomatic, but they are warlike. So it's kind of a double aspect.
They're also very espionage focused. So I could see something like a
Espionage.
scout, or like a explorer.
Do you know? You know what I want to see is the Xi'an actually, having this stereotype of the stupid human who can't learn how to pronounce their fucking name.
Yeah.
I bet they will.
The thing
Yeah,
is,
I can
there's
see that.
the Xi'an
Yeah,
have
because I'm
they have-
no.
they have two pronunciations. They have two pronunciations.
Yes, and Xi'an is neither of them.
It's Shan
It's-
and
No,
yeah,
Xi'an and
Xi'an.
Jean.
and Jean. That's right.
Xi'an.
Yeah.
Yes, but everybody I talk to just completely conflates the two and just makes Xi'an.
Yeah. Yeah. For those who don't know,
That's me.
they have
There's
two
three.
dialects. They have two dialects
Yeah.
in the language. One is the common dialect, or like the soldier military dialect, and the other one is the high dialect. So you've got the vulgar dialect and the refined dialect. So, and if I remember, it's like the Shan or the Jean.
Xi'an is the high dialect. Jean is the military.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could definitely see a cultural split of the ships, very similar to Star Trek, because we already kind of do though,
Yeah.
because the Banu, probably the Trip Taker is probably a no-brainer. It might be renamed because older
Yeah.
concept
old name.
/ lore. The Jackal probably will happen because the Tavaran are a martial species. But I still would expect to see some logistic ships like Darj mentioned,
Mhm.
logistics / cargo / command type vehicles. The Vandal,
I feel like
pretty much
in
reflects
industry stuff we'd see from the Banu, and
Mhm.
then like data running potentially from the Xi'an,
Mhm.
and then if
It's also got to make sense in terms of the
yeah.
narrative, because like, would the Xi'an sell an espionage ship to the human market? No, probably not, because they don't want people to like. You want a spy ship? You want to buy our spy ships? That's not how that works. We're still kind of not antagonistic, but we're standoffish relationship with the Xi'an. So
it would be closer to the Federation and the Vulcans in Enterprise than during Kirk's time.
Yeah, well, that's why I say like the Romulans are a good example, because like the Romulans eventually become allies with the Federation, but it's like they're, or even when they're allies, they're sort of they're sort of even in like the Picard
In a
series,
very Romulan way, they become allies. Yeah.
yeah. So there's always that standoffish nature between the Federation.
Let's say
and
some
Romulan.
Romulans and some Romulans don't.
Yeah. So that's kind of how the Xi'an work. So, what you're saying in terms of ships is like that their overarching narrative that those species have, they'll probably have their own versions of those ships.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my assumption. And as to ships, to switch up, that I would likely see, I agree, like if we get anything else from Asperia, like Vanduul or Tavarin, I could definitely see the Jackal. It's been hinted a few times.
Yeah.
The Stinger, they outright denied, boo. But that may be a red herring because they said the same thing about certain other ships and they've also shown up. But if they produce the Stinger, that would be kind of an odd.
It's the Vanduul ship, right?
It's the big one that the big bad escapes in during the cutscene. That thing is more like almost a small medium. It has 3 crew. So I'm assuming 2 gunners and a pilot.
Probably.
Wasn't that like the same that the bombers were that you had to fight off? Yeah.
It was just
so
after...
that's a different one. I need to I need to watch that
There's
video
the
for like
Void.
the 25th time.
There's the Void bombers, which are the ones that are the one. I know that's the Xi'an. There's a bomber that looks similar.
There's like in the stages that progress from the blades to the sides to the glaives and then the bombers. I thought that those bombers were the exact same ship that what's his name? Hold on, don't help me. Thule escapes on from the king ship,
but
that's a Stinger. Okay.
Yes, the Stinger is. I think it's
looks very similar though.
High-ranking Vanduul, so there's obviously a caste system there.
Oh yeah,
it's a captain's yacht, you say?
Kind of. Basically, their captain's yacht, but it's far from defenseless. As you can see, it literally laid waste to those retaliators.
One retaliator, and then it made one lightning pancake against the king ship.
Yeah. So
I mean, as to other ships, sorry, Paul.
Go ahead.
The Xi'an, like you said, I don't see spy ships unless we have like an undercover deal, and then most of the Xi'an crap is removed, like the Idris. But manufacturing is interesting because Misk, there's kind of already a subtle hint with Misk and the
Mirai.
The Xi'an and Mirai.
Yeah.
There's some sort of subtle under the table agreement. We might see more of a Xi'an variant of Misk ships and Mirai ships. I mean, they have mentioned in lore a heavy Xi'an fighter. Now, is that a development of the Guardian? Could it be similar to the Guardian, but even nastier? Like, who knows? I mean, just throwing that out there.
Okay.
Or like a Santokai with 6 wings.
Yes.
Instead of 3.
I was gonna say we have the X-wing, we have the TIE fighter. Now we need a Y-wing or some other Star Wars variant.
We have a TIE fighter. That's the Hornet F7X. Because it has, the engines are ion engines on the back, and it's 2 of them. So
I mean,
the
engines, Guardian, the Guardian basically is a TIE fighter.
So personally, the reason why I don't think we see a lot of alien ships is that CIG, it isn't the priority for CIG right now. And I guess obviously we talked about Squadron 42, but I think it goes even further than that. That CIG really wants to make the human manufacturers stand out. They want to fill out all those rosters, and I don't think they want to add more work to their plate because they're already starting to they're already tackling Misk and Drake and RSI, which are some of their biggest manufacturers in terms of ships, because like Drake, we still have the Kraken. And then they also have to go back and rework the Caterpillar. They probably have to rework at least light reworks of the Cutlass variants, not to mention any other Cutlass variants they want to make.
Rework is a strong word. I would say Gold Pass is as far as they'll take it.
Yeah.
Just adding all the components and fixing the doors and the functionality.
I think they need to redo the entire interior because it's really bad. It's really bad. Like their engine is literally like a naval like diesel engine that they put in there, which is
it's Drake.
Yeah, but like that's the component. You need to have a component bay there, and so like that should it should look different in terms of like how it's set up, and there should be more spaces in that area, that engineering place for like actual engineering, which doesn't exist right now. Plus, like they probably need to remove that catwalk from the cargo bays because they want to probably make it more space so you can actually put more stuff in there. And I could also see
that catwalk makes no sense other than to give you a really long and a lonely walkway to get to the front turret.
Yeah. So I could see them redoing it so that instead of it having like segmented modules like it does, it's just one long one, and then they swap out for the any modularization. They just swap out the one long to like.
Would you say would it be 8 or 10 inches long?
It's a grower, not a shower, Darj. Okay, it's a grower, not a shower. But like, yeah, so they've got, my point is they've got a lot of reworks. Like the Aurora needs to get a whole freaking rework. The Constellation needs an interior rework. The Freelancer needs an interior rework.
Yeah.
The Avenger to a degree. Like there's a lot of ships in the MISC, RSI, and Drake lineup that need a rework, as well as new or like internal reworks, as well as new ships that they're making, like the Arastra, the Perseus, the Galaxy, the Ironclad, the Odyssey, the Starlancer, which we already have most of it, but
even with 1,000
Expanse.
people, CIG still don't have enough people working on those ships
Yeah.
for everything that they want to do and everything the community wants them to do.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
I want to make a quick.
Go ahead.
So I want to make a quick sidetrack. I don't know if you noticed, but after this year's Invictus, CID put up their I don't want to say new, but revamped game packages. So they have a specific name instead of saying the Avenger.
Yeah.
They say
the general's package.
They have the general packages. And you know what I find interesting is that they go up to $125, and then there's a gap between $125 to $1,000.
Yeah.
They don't sell any of the constellations. They don't sell any of the Hornet. They don't sell any of the freelancers anymore. So maybe they could add some alien ships in there sometime.
They do have the Sulan starter pack.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still the Sulan starter pack still exists, but we'll see. I'm looking through the starter packs right now.
Still there. Yeah, the Sulan's
One
still
thing
there.
I want to mention is, what is an alien? That's a good question. I mean,
non-human.
We're thinking of the intelligent species. Okay, a lot of people are missing out on the flora and fauna we have.
Well, we'll talk about that as well.
Aliens,
you know,
technically in game, but yeah, let's wait for that.
So it goes.
An alien is any being you can have sex with. Well, no way, that's not a good definition.
Can we mute him?
Oh, fast card. But
give us that Banusi, CIG.
But let's talk about that. You bring that up in terms of like ships. I'd like to see. I would like to see the Jackal. So like the Jackal is one of those ones, which is for those who don't know, it's a lore ship that it's in a couple of different stories for about Second Tavaran War, and it's a 2-person or 2-operator ship that's kind of like the Hurricane, only the second operator doesn't control weapons; they control engineering. So their main job is to like manage power and shields to balance that out. So it's like the advantage of a fighter. All the advantages of the fighter with the advantages, with the equal advantages of a multi-crew ship, where you can like repair and like manage the ships and shields, stuff like that. And I think we'll get to this, but that sneak preview they have of that possible Prowler variant, I think that could be the sort of direction they go in with that.
I
but we'll see
looked at
that.
it. I see no differences to the regular Prowler
Apparently, there's
from that
some
angle,
geometry in the
than
top. It's a little different.
I checked. It's a very wide angle shot. Like if you look at the Star Citizen tools screenshots that they have, like every ship they have screenshots from every angle,
Mhm.
and they're very repeatable angle. They use a very narrow angle lens for those, like
Mhm.
telephoto.
So,
So the perspective is completely different from
dog, are
the.
you saying they messed with the FOV like they did with the Brandon Westman again? Is that what you're saying? Do you remember that? You remember that picture?
Yeah.
You remember that?
So it could also
With the
be
nose, yeah.
It could be nothing. That thing could just be
Yeah.
it could be it's definitely a prowler. It's got that prowler. It's even got symbols on it that match the prowler. So it's a prowler. So it could just be them going, we're going to give you new skins for the prowler or new skins for Alien Week.
Yeah, but they wouldn't tease new skins just because it's orange. Come
Yeah.
on, it would be a variant like the Asgard is to the Valk
Yeah.
or VLCC, because it's like so same chassis but just a different part of it that they didn't show is going to be different.
Yeah.
That's my take from that.
But let's talk about the creatures we currently have. Because currently we have the
Bareback.
okay, the Valakar, the Grazer, the
Birds.
Copian, and the Maroc.
All right.
So I'll ask you, Axis,
The
are
White
you
Oak.
currently okay with the current direction that we're getting in terms of like new creatures being added? And then secondly, what other creatures do you think we should see, flora or fauna, that we haven't seen yet for Star Citizen?
Okay. So currently we have, I want to say, 4 different genuses because they're subspecies as well.
Yes, they're going to be
That
subspecies.
if you count the subspecies, I think that in addition to the irradiated ones, which I don't know if they're divided into 4, like the 4 Copian and 4 whatever,
Mhm.
we have irradiated Valakar and normal Valakar as of 4.2. I don't know if we can talk about this right now.
Okay,
Can we?
it's in PTU.
Oh, it's already out to all backers. Never mind. But yeah, we have mutated, or I guess you could call them like, what would be a good word? Mutated kind of sounds kind of cliche, so I'm like
For what?
variant, like a
Variant.
variant species.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The mutant. You'd say mutant.
Yeah, we have like a mutant, so we have like the Apex Valakar through its juveniles, and we also have their mutated variants or irradiated variants.
Yeah, that's what they call them. And they
The
also have the
Copian-
irradiated Copians. So.
And I'm gonna assume there are gonna be other animals in that subcategory. But in addition, we also have the Quasi Grazer, which has the most variations at 5 for now, subspecies. And let's see, the Marrock is the only one that's not really developed, but we also know there are fish coming because there were fish like being worked on, and
Mhm.
there has been some water work. If people have not been paying close attention, there has been some work on aquatic stuff. Very slow, most everything's above water, but eventually we're going to get environments that require more than just surface animals and plants. We're also going to get aquatic, underground. We've seen underground Valakar, swamp Valakar. That kind of hints at different ecosystem subtypes.
We already do have that a little bit because we do have like the tundra Copian versus the forest Copians and those kind of things. So
Yeah, we also have the tundral
grazers.
Grazers. So that's
Yeah.
the start of a food chain.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're going to see the big beast, and the storm walls.
Do that
Somebody
again?
mentioned the storm walls.
He's talking about the
There you go.
prowler, I think.
Someone mentioned the storm walls, which is a good mention, and the Ziphlopod, which has been hinted for many, many years.
The Zyphlopod. Yeah, the
Zyphlopod.
blind Oni crab. I'd love to see those. Yeah.
Now, with radiation, I would think we would see like irradiated Ziphlopod.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
I could also imagine them not being immune to radiation because they're literally shit creatures. They eat garbage.
Jenna mentioned the mouse.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
the rats, the mouse.
Alaparat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are there subspecies of that or just
Alaprat.
one?
Alaprat. They might be a
Yes.
mutated version of rats. They could be a genetically modified version of rat because they look like rats. But
So like
Yeah,
we have,
but they call Alaprat just because they have alopecia, so
Alopecia,
they're
yeah.
naked.
they're
Yeah.
naked rats. Yeah.
so like we have a lot of surface animals.
Mhm.
We don't have a lot of aerial predators or aerial
True.
flyers. Like
Oh,
we don't have
now
anything that's
that's
like a,
now that's a good hazard for spaceships.
Like a gigantic.
Not bird strike, but like in Avatar, those things that would just attach to your
Ripping-
ship and
yeah.
start clawing, start ripping stuff out.
those
Yes.
things, yeah. And think about it. Some of these planets have denser atmospheres than Earth, so that's easier for there to be flight. So
Mhm.
can you imagine like something as big as the Quetzalcoatl? For those that don't know paleontology, the Quetzalcoatl has a 65-foot wingspan.
It
And that's,
wasn't a dinosaur.
it wasn't a dinosaur, it's a
It
pterosaur.
was a flying lizard.
Mhm.
Yes.
And it was one of the largest living flyers that ever existed. And I could see like a Marok having another
Gigantic version.
subspecies like the giant Marok. So it's
Mhm.
like the Quetzalcoatl aerial hunter, and it might be vengeful if you take a pop shot at it. It
I
might
love-
be like, ooh,
Like a
threat.
crow. Like a crow. Yeah, like how corvids will remember and go after
Oh,
people.
when they're slighted, crows don't forget.
Yeah. Darsh, your thoughts on more species that we could see of non-sapient species?
I want species in space.
Like
We've
void
covered
species.
yeah, like proper spaceborne stuff. Yeah, the whales have to be in atmosphere, right? That they live in the atmosphere of Crusader.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think so.
The storm walls, yeah. But yeah, something that is truly alien. It's like all of the stuff right now is basically just stuff that basically could survive on Earth. It needs gravity, it needs oxygen, it needs water and food. But what about stuff that just roams space and feeds off background radiation and stuff like that? Something really
Ergo-like,
cool and
yeah.
alien.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
that's
That's
what I like to see.
I will skip fast car real quickly and say that's kind of what I want. I want something that's so dangerous that it's like that it lives on empty wrecks. So like when you're going to go salvage a wreck, like you have a risk of these things just popping out and just attacking you.
Because it found out that human RMC material is delicious.
Yeah.
I have another
right.
one that might be
And-
more scary. There's in another game series, there's this thing. It's in Metroid, Metroid lore. There's this thing called, God, what is it called? It's this monster that lives in the void. And it basically has its body in different dimensions of reality. And one of the ways it eats is it feeds off the electromagnetic energy of ships.
That's
this
that's what
thing,
I'm talking about. Like having having something that like attracted to the broken radiation, like power plants of wrecks. So it goes there to nest near the Lincoln
or quantum drive. So
Yeah.
it starts popping up on shipping lanes.
Yes.
the name of it, it's really dangerous though.
One like episodes of Star Trek that featured those things were probably one of my favorites. Like
Rough Galaxy talking about Voyager.
Gum 2. Yeah. Voyager. Oh. Yeah. Not Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah. Fast card. Species. What kind of species would you like to see?
Oh, we don't talk about the whale, the storm walls.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned the whip crabs. That's coming. The boreal stalker. That's coming. I would like to see them do like gameplay for like the Valakar, how they had the raid, but do it for the boreal stalker or do it for the whip crab. Both of those will be interesting. So hopefully those are coming. But we do have a couple of planets like they could have potential. Castra and Terra could have their own species or
Mhm.
different variants what do you call them? Analogs for like
Right.
birds and different animals. So I'm just interested in seeing like maybe a deer on tail or some kind of uh, uh, another like dog species or something like that for a cat or something like that.
There was this
So
sneak peek along those lines, Cast Fest Cart, about a month or two ago. Some sort of cold looking, it almost looked like a, what do you call it almost looked like the dang, the grazer, but it's bigger. It had like stockier legs,
Oh yeah.
these horns that come up like this.
hmm,
Yeah, like a big space
okay.
buffalo thing. I'm
Okay,
wondering
I
what it's
forgot it.
called.
No, I might have missed that. But guess again stole my answer. Like you know how the band like in certain areas past we don't know what the other species that we haven't mentioned yet start with the it's like cat. What do you call them? I forget the name. It had
The
the
flat,
apostrophe in their name.
flat cats.
Katak, yeah.
Katak.
Yeah.
Katak. We don't know what those are. So maybe I'm thinking like maybe they're chasing away the Vandal or the Xeon. I forget who the on the other side of again? Are the Xeon?
The other side of the Xi'an. Yeah.
Uh,
The other side of the Xi'an
yeah.
Empire.
The other Xeon. So maybe they could be like AI. Maybe not necessarily intelligent AI, or maybe just like marauding AI. So we
The
don't know.
Kurthak are thought to
Mm.
be possibly a machine race.
Yeah, that's what
They
Fast
That's
Card's
what I was
saying.
saying.
That's what Fast Card's saying.
Yeah.
And
Or
Yeah, but
zombies.
The Voteless from
oh
Helldivers 2.
no, Gianbis.
The Jean Beast.
Okay.
But also something that I would love to see is something fucking cute. Like
Yes.
every animal that CIG has thought up now looks like grizzly and slimy and scaly. But where is something a furball that is so cute that makes corgis look like mongrels?
There's the
there's
I got
this
one for you. I
animal.
got one for you, Nominator. How about
No, Paul
Gremlin?
knows this
But
one. I know what he's
let's
talking
let Fast Card finish.
how about Gremlin? But if you mistreat it, they can turn into the ugly Gremlins, like you feed them after midnight or whatever.
Yeah, like from
It gets
Gremlins.
old.
Yeah.
You were gonna say, Paul?
Axis, you were gonna say something?
There was this animal that I just thought of that's banned from being traded.
Flat
Trying to
cats?
remember words. What is it?
Flat cats.
It's something
Yeah,
something
they're
along
called
those lines.
there's the Osoians, yeah, but like there is a species, there's a super cute species that was made by that's the Xi'an species. That's like that looks like a little Pikachu. It looks like a pear-shaped Pikachu. Let me look it up.
Flopets.
Flopets is what they're called. Yeah, that's for the Flopets are a little different, but the one that's the
Flat
Xi'an
cats are
species.
basically just cats that stuck around landing pads too much and got squished.
Let me see if I can pull them up. Okay, yeah. So it's called. I'm going to send this to you. It's cute, but let's see. It's called the Ngi or the Yao Yao.
Who?
Oh, I see it. Yeah, it almost looks like a yellow red panda.
Yeah, kind of like that. I'll put it in
So
here.
yellow panda.
Um,
A yellow red panda is just a yellow panda.
There he is.
There
I
you go.
see.
I'll put it in there for y'all.
Oh, I think I've seen it before.
Yeah.
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 No, but still, that doesn't look really that cute to me. It's still got that sort of gremlin features
it's not
with
really
the
cute,
teeth and
yeah.
everything. Yeah, but where's the big anime eyes?
Yes.
You know,
Something that's like a wolf cat or something like
Something
that.
that's maybe nocturnal,
Yeah.
maybe. Big
Or-
eyes usually mean nocturnal.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's also the thing that my wife thinks is cute and I think is cute, which are the creatures that the night nocturnal creatures from Madagascar. I can't remember the name of there, but everyone else thinks they're fucking horrifying.
is
Organized
that the one?
cute.
I think. Oh God, what is it? in my mind is like it's opening its eyes and the THX sound is playing. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that one.
Gliders, maybe?
The II, yeah, the II. Is what they're called. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh no, it's different.
I
It's different.
gotta look that up. I gotta look that up.
Yeah.
The Slow Loris, maybe it's called. I'm looking it up, see if I can see it.
Yoshi.
I think it's a Slow Loris. It's a Slow Loris.
I have to agree, Paul. Those are kind of horrifying, but I can see how some people would say they're so ugly, they're cute. I can see that.
Yeah, the II is one of those. It's kind of like a wingless bat, is what it kind of looks like. So,
I mean, can you imagine? And that's how it got its name. Someone saw it and went, "Ah!" That's gotta be how they got that name.
Yeah. But yeah. But yeah, I as I said earlier, I think the like something that lives on the creatures, but I do like the idea of like having a cute creature, because there's got to be something that people are like, I want to keep you as an animal, as a pet, other than
other than actual cats and dogs and
Yeah.
and whatever. Yeah.
You got to remember that the concept art team has only begun to crack into open overdrive on
with some of these
animals.
things. Yeah.
So things like the Valacar are brand new. The
They're
variants
brand
are
new.
brand new.
Yeah, I gotta say,
Yeah,
2016.
the Big Boy was the original planned version before they fleshed out its life cycle. The rest of them are very different. The same could be true for the Boreal Stalker. Like there's a juvenile Boreal Stalker, and then we
adult
have
and
the
Apex.
adult, and then the freaking Apex, which is even bigger than the thing we see. It's just mean.
Oh my god, this little tiny little monkey with big eyes that scared everything, and then when you walk somewhere, it just holds onto your leg, and then just you have that as a pet because you think it's this pygmy little thing, but then over the years as it grows, it kind of has trouble getting into your ship anymore because it's so big. But you still love it because it's yours and it's cuddly, and you call it George.
Oh my God, I get that reference. I'm gonna love them and squeeze them and call them George and make them my own.
Paul might agree with me. I can see something like that on Terra because there's like a lot of jungles in like the equatorial regions. So
the one thing I will say,
what is Castra like?
Castra is very cold. It's very mountainous.
Cold, okay.
There's a lot of mountains, but it's like it's more
maybe lions, maybe mountain lions.
Mountain goats.
Yeah. So like the redwood forests that they showed off in at CitizenCon, I believe those are going to be the main biome of Castra. So it's going to be very like cold forests, dark cold forests.
So we're going to see more hardy life forms adapted to the cold. So there might be
super cold, but like
I could see like a deer or some kind of bunny analog. Maybe
that's true. Yeah, I was thinking we definitely need more herbivores other than cow. And we do have rats, so bunnies would make sense, like rabbits or smaller creatures.
Rats are much smaller. I mean, I could see like a bushmouth.
It's like the jump from the star package. You got 125 max, and then you got 1,000, and nothing in between.
I'm literally looking at it too. It goes from 125 for a
there's a good suggestion.
The Cutlass Black.
It's the Cutlass Black to the Ultimate Starter Pack, or Ultimate Explorer Pack, which is 100, which is 1,015. Yeah. Sorry, you said
nothing
insects.
in between.
We don't have a lot of insects. But I don't know if they would really want to model.
But insects, it's more like it's like a particle system. Yeah. It's even below boids. I want to say.
They would have to get really detailed, but it depends on the size.
We do have the stone bug.
Well, yeah,
true.
We have an invertebrate.
Is that the one that Space Clarkson kicked in one of his Spectrum videos?
Yes, I think so.
That attacked them all. Yeah.
On a jungle planet, insects could get huge. Due to the moisture.
Yeah, and I'm gonna avoid those. I would avoid. That's a note for me.
Oh yeah, there's the vent slug. Yeah,
that is something we're not taking into account, guys. The climate affecting what species might be there?
Well, it's also important to know that CIG at the end of the day is also going to want to make things that they can copy and paste. They want to be able to put creatures on every planet. So they may have, if you have to make a unique species for a specific planet or a specific system, it's going to put a lot of effort and stuff for that one area, which they kind of already did with the star whales, the space whales, with they kind of screwed themselves in that one. But go ahead.
I could see variants of them on other gas giants, though.
Yeah,
different subspecies. Depends on what the gas giant is.
They're supposed to be uniquely to Crusader, which is why people like to come there. So, Darj, you gonna say something?
But I feel like if we're going with physicalized insects, you're gonna have to introduce windscreen wipers to ships, because as soon as you fly through a swarm of those, you're just gonna be splattered completely and not be able to see. And that is another anti-ship hazard that they could introduce. Yeah.
Coordinator, why are you trying to add 5 years to the project? What are you doing?
Every time I open my mouth, another 5 years is added to the project.
It's just gonna be a weather effect. You've got sand, rain, and bug. Bug storm. It's like Sharknado, but bug.
Sharknado. Oh my God.
You just brought up, Paul, easy to replicate. Well, a lot of these planets, even now, are starting to have water.
Yeah.
So we're just thinking about aerial and ground. Things like corals, easy to replicate, and underwater plant life.
A giant jellyfish.
Yes.
Now someone did share the jellyfish that's native to one of the planets in the Ellis system, and I could see jellyfish being very common. Somebody, picks one up, oops, drops it in the ocean, still it survives, and it's an invasive species. But also in that description for that jellyfish, it mentioned that this is the shallow water species that just evolved. There's an older deep water version. So
Convincing Illusion is saying they should move away from single biome planets. They don't have single biome planets. Actually, the planets right now have multiple biomes.
Moons are, but moons are much smaller. That's what they can get away with it.
It's just that they don't have as variety of the biomes as we're used to. Like, Earth has all of the biomes, obviously. So, but like, Hurston has 4 biomes, including one that's just trash. It's like the salt dirt.
That's not Paul's opinion. It's literally
called the trash biome. Yeah, it's just trash biome. There's the savanna. There's the trash. There's the I want to say it's like the sulfur biome. It's like a sulfur lakes. Coast. And then there's the coastlines. Yeah, I think that's about what we have. But like, and then of course there's the like Microtech has the obsidian biome, which is just on the poles, which is just obsidian as far as I can see. And then there's Microtech does, yeah. It has obsidian.
Oh yeah.
It has an entire.
So that indicates volcanic activity.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then there's the meadow biomes, the kind of like the ones that are along the equator, and then they've got the forests and then the tundra. So.
Yeah, I think the meadow biome is what they got that idea from the sound of music.
Yes, it's very high. Swiss Highlands,
It's very just Switzerland.
You need a billy goat or a ram or
yes, goats or ibexes.
Yeah.
Ibexes. There we go. Now, lion-like predators, like pack hunters, lycopian are close, but those are more of a canidid species, right? Canine
hyenas.
Like hyenas, they're kind of very similar.
Yeah, they're more like hyenas or jackals. We need something big like a lion or tiger. Something.
Oh, bear. Oh my.
Something that's fascinating to me about tigers is like if you look at them on the back and you look at the little pretty little ears, they have what's called as fake eyes on their ears.
Mm-hmm.
That is to fool predators to thinking that's they're not looking at the back of the animal but the front of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now explain to me, what the fuck kind of animal does a tiger consider a predator?
Yeah,
man,
humans.
Well,
humans.
Maybe humans, but like it didn't evolve to deal with humans. It evolved to deal with something completely different, which we kind of know, like Smilodons and giant sloths and stuff like that.
I suppose, yeah,
Yeah.
and
'Cause they were around at the
saber-tooth
same
tigers
time.
that were like much bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I see like Microtech's geneticists making something even worse than the you just mentioned
Riori?
Smilodon, one of
Yeah.
my favorite mammals. Why do I think Microtech's, God, what is it called? Inari and
Riari.
something?
Riari.
Rayari.
Ryari.
Why do I see Rayari making a Smilodon Microtech edition?
They kind of did. It's called the Apex. It's called the Boreal Stalker. It's just it's there's different versions. They're not quadrupeds. They're bipeds. But like they're kind of going with that Bigfoot vibe. But all right, so I think we got a good discussion on different
I was
animals
gonna
and
say,
stuff
I was
like
gonna
that.
say, but go ahead.
What are you gonna say? I'll let you finish up, fast card.
Okay, I was gonna say to finish off. I think CID could get a bunch of ideas for new animals if they just go to Australia, because everything is bigger there, and you can get those spiders, you can get the kangaroo, you can go anything from Australia. You can just put into the game, and it'll be almost alien. So
I was gonna say Australia, Madagascar, or the deepest of the oceans. You look at any creatures from those places, and you get yourself some weird looking creatures. So.
But also, I think I just realized why we primarily don't see such a variety yet, because Doug Jones is busy.
Yes.
I'll finish this off with a quick discussion, because we've just talked all about the aliens, we talked about the ships, we talked about the creatures, but let's talk about the actual species themselves: the Tevarin, the Banu, the Xi'an, and the Vandul. Other than the Vandul, which we know they're probably waiting for Squadron 42 to come out before they add them to the verse, which of these species do you think we're going to see in the game first? Because we know that's going to be a while before we have any sort of playable alien races. But, we already sort of see, the Banu with Wicklow, but Wicklow is a head and a torso.
Well, the first Banu was in Reunion, and it was basically just
a static object.
Wicklow in one of the cryopods. Yeah.
I think they'll
Go ahead, Fastcart, because I'll ask you first. Which ones do you think? What's the order you think we're going to get them in?
Yeah, because he almost stole my answer. I was going to say they're going to finish. They're going to finish Wicklow, make him a complete person, arms, legs, and everything. Make him mobile. Hopefully, let him walk around.
I'm a real boy.
Yeah, right. So that's what I think. So brand new first, but after that, oof.
From a socio-political standpoint, Tevarin would make more sense because they're supposed to be naturalized into the UEE. They're not an outside species.
But where are they primarily? Because Would they show up in Stanton?
Oh yeah,
for some reason.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They're everywhere. Like there are the thing is that Tevarin typically have their own communities. So like if they were in Stanton, they would be either a section of Area 18 or an entire area that's just Tevarin. So like Area 2 is just Tevarin town, whatever, something like that. So.
Has it been established that you can't cross species, have a half Tevarin?
It's not Star Trek. You can't have half hybrid species.
No, with that attitude.
there is a famous magazine cover that you can see in game which says I'm in love with the Tevarin. So it's nothing against cross species relationships. It's just not possible to create babies with them.
I mean, someone's gonna crack the whole regeneration tech to be able to like inject other species DNA into your next clone.
Splicers.
Splicing,
that term.
Yeah. So Fastcart, you said probably Banu, and then what should you think after that?
Maybe you brought up Tevarin. I mean, I think we all suspected the Kathak is going to be last.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely going to be last, whatever they are. Maybe
I would love for the Kathak to actually eventually just be a Xi'an boogeyman that doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
We'll I mean, like Squad 42 is supposed to come out in 2026. So maybe we'll see them in Star Citizen after Squad 42 comes out.
Darsh, your thoughts on the order of release?
Yeah, Banu first, just because they're halfway there.
literally.
Well, we could, yeah, living on a prayer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was waiting for it, but you want to finish it? That's fine.
Um, I don't know whether because we've seen at least 3 individual Vandal in the Squadron 42 demo, right? You
Mhm.
have the Okra, you have the Thule, and you have just I
Generic
think the
warrior.
rest generic warrior is basically just a single model. Not that I've been able to glean any differences, basically the same. From the band, we've only seen one so far, so I wonder if how like how varied they want to go with that. Tavarin, we've seen several different concepts, and I don't think that actually they were like, okay, so we have 5 different concepts, we're going to go with that one. I believe it's like all of them are going to be, just variations of different plumage and different beak sizes and lengths and shapes. So I wonder how that how because we have the human DNA system with to be able to change it. I wonder if they also created the system to work with other species like that. Because they kind of showed that it works with other species because they gave a Kazi Grazer a mohawk in one of the ICs.
Yeah.
So it seems to be a fairly robust universal system. So where was I going with this? I don't even know. But yeah, yeah, I'm guessing a lot of that is also waiting to just variations of, because
Yeah.
you don't want to bump into the same Banu every time. They're not like Morts in what was it, Ratchet and Clank, because that is the joke that all of them are Mort
Yeah.
and they look the same. Yeah.
I think Mork and
CIG
Mindy for
doesn't
some
have
reason.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, and Mort, not Mork. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
CIG doesn't have that sort of sense of humor
No.
to go with that. So they
Know
want to
about
go with
that.
not as a completely like one of the cornerstones
Okay.
of a
Okay.
species. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's they sprinkle their humor, throughout. Yeah. Um, yeah, Tavarin, and then I'm guessing as soon as Squadron is out, we may start seeing events that have Vandal incursions. So we'll see them on the ground and in space. So potentially those will just, instead of being like on a static schedule of introduction, they'll just throw them in whenever they're ready.
Yeah. Axis, your thoughts on
Yeah.
the like, what are we getting first? Banu, Tavarin, Jian.
Anything else that they just
Well, I can tell you that from what I was looking at through Star Citizen tools, the most developed species currently, I'd have to say in order are, let's see, probably Banu first,
Mhm.
obviously, because they'll be easier to implement than some others. And then probably the Tavarin, which is odd because they already have concepts. We have Xi'an armor, but we don't really have a rig model for the Xi'an yet, I don't think.
That we know of.
No, but
That we
that
know of.
looks like it was designed for humans because Xi'an's supposed to be shorter, stockier, fatter,
Mhm.
and what we have just doesn't fit the
It's
physique.
derivative armor, but still it kind of.
Yeah.
Vanduul, I think they're talking about potentially allowing players to have as use, but later, post 1.0. And then we have the mystery species. None of you guys mentioned the Kurthak. We know nothing about
What?
them, what they look like. They're going to be the very last anything because we don't even have
I mentioned
concept
them.
art of them. You know what I mean, Paul?
Yeah.
We have no concept art, no knowledge of their
That's
skills,
intentional.
nothing.
I want to say that it's fully intentional,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they are playing that card as close to the chest as they can because they know leaks happen, and the the Star Citizen community is going to dig everything that they can from the game files they have that in a little box in Chris Roberts' office, all the concepts on napkins and on A4 sheets of paper with pen and pencil. There's nothing digital about that, but
I also have a
Yeah.
thought that they're related to Squadron in some way.
Possibly.
Distant. I mean,
We do have
probably not part 2.
we have a couple of references in the lore of humanity trying to contact the Kuthok, and that causing an international incident or interstellar incident, I guess you could say, with the Xi'an. So we do know that it's
wait. Isn't Seto Karn an anagram of Kurtox?
Could be.
I would also
I had a
Like
thought.
the big bad in Squadron, right?
Mhm. He's one of the big bats, yes.
Yeah,
He's the one we
yeah,
know
yeah.
I had a
of.
thought.
Go ahead.
Before 1.0, I haven't heard anything about that officially or even unofficially in ages. But Operation Pitchfork, they want to take back the Vegas. We probably, I don't know if that's
Mhm.
going to be possible, but I imagine CIG will put together a Vandal versus a Vandal incursion like the originator said before 1.0 that to fit Operation Pitchfork. So maybe we'll see them then.
Might. I mean, this is definitely something we're going to see. I think because they talked about the Vandal incursions into Nyx, so we could
Yeah.
definitely see that as instance battle. So we could definitely see something.
That's a good. I just forgot about that.
Yeah.
Nyx is the very next system, so the
Yeah.
Van Duel might be sooner than
It's
we
the
think.
very next system.
Nyx
Yeah,
is the next
right.
system. Personally, I think obviously it's clear the band who are coming out. That like them doing Wicklow and having a voice actor and everything says that we're going to get the Banu. And I think Darsh is right in that we need to have not only variations in terms of size, but we need variations in terms of clothing. And that's hard because they have to build a bunch of clothing and armor and other things for a new skeletal rig that they've never done before. They want to make it unique enough that it's not just the same.
And
person over and
design
over again.
language.
Yeah.
So you have companies within the design language that are just designing stuff for that, and then of course, fucking humies are gonna want to latch onto that, just so they can appear different when they go to hang out with
Yeah.
Janice and Edith with at whatever the bar is at Area 18, just to show off the new threads.
Yeah, so whatever thread they have for the Banu are going to have some sort of human version of that same very outfit. So,
and hopefully it won't take 7 years for them to come out with the female model of the Banu.
Oh my god!
They don't have gender, so they don't even think they have the concept of sex. So,
Wait, so telling me there's no such thing as Banusi?
No, there's no such thing as Banusi. We don't even know how they reproduce. We do know that they require 2 of them to reproduce, but they sort of reproduce together by being.
I'll tell you what, I will find out for you. I'll let you know.
High-fiving.
Yes.
They're just high-fiving.
High-fiving.
Listen, no glove, no love. Okay? Futurama reference, as well as an actual.
From what I understand, the Banu are on the low end of the longevity scale.
Yes.
They typically live only 40, 50, maybe 60 years.
60 years.
Humans are about 120 by now.
Yeah.
Xi'an live upwards of 300 to 400 years. And humanity's kind of an oddball now because, like you said in one of your earlier shorts, Ernest Bishop is 90.
He's younger now. I was wrong with that
He's
one.
younger.
He's younger. He's actually in his 60s, but he looks like he's in his 80s.
Why does he sound like he's like 120 for some reason?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's a grizzled war veteran.
But as I say, Banu are clearly the next one. And then I think after that might actually be the Vandal or the Xi'an. Because I have a feeling that they've modeled the Xi'an because there have been references to them modeling the Xi'an for Squadron.
Right.
So, and we have seen that dead body of the Xi'an in one of the trailers floating around.
I need to go through that. Is it at the
It's right before
fast cut montage at the end of last year's Citizen Con?
Yeah, right before you see the cartoon all like the
Cartwall
show up.
Oh, okay.
It's in that process. Like I think you're EVAing, or it's EVAing, and you see like the light shaft covered like a body, and if you look at it, that body is actually a Xi'an because it's like short,
Okay.
stubby, and like kind of large.
Okay.
And it
But
has
also,
been
have we ever seen Banu below the torso?
no.
Actually,
In terms of modeling, no, but we have seen
No.
it in concept
No.
art.
Okay.
Oh,
damn
if you
it.
look hard enough,
Because
I'm sure you'll see it.
I was thinking like
Box card.
Cass, in is it Cass? Whoever it was in Reunion, you only saw him from the waist up.
Oh,
in
yeah,
the cryopod.
Maz.
Moss,
Yeah.
yeah. And then Wicklow is only from the waist up. I wonder if all Banu are just from the waist up.
No, they have legs.
They're not ghost stars. They're peoples.
They have skinny. They got some skinny legs. They got some super skinny legs. Like they got them chicken legs going on. So,
Hmm.
They
I don't
got
know if they
legs and they know how to use them.
not even.
I think the best comparison to the Banu is like they're like Namekians, basically. They're like a hybrid species. So they kind of.
I think it was
Do they
2023.
photosynthesize?
They might.
I held the line.
Because
Yeah.
the texture kind of looks like Groot. So we've always made the meme that they're tree people, right?
Three people.
Yeah. They have that tree people joke, but I think it's hard to tell exactly what they are. I'd have to look up. Is it at the end of the 2024 trailer?
The Cartwall is, yes.
Yeah.
But the actual yeah. After the gameplay, they have like a fast cut trailer for,
Yeah, the 20
for it.
yeah. Yeah, it's at somewhere. I'm looking at it right here. PGR got a snippet of it.
Strange.
Someone's in chat is like, I want to see this. Because as always, people are like, links, proof.
Proof might be proof.
Picture didn't happen.
Yeah, picture didn't happen. I'm looking through the trailer that was posted. I want to say it's like at like the 130 mark ish.
Not at the end of
The 2026.
the actual video from 24.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's in this video at
You can copy the timestamp.
136. With the timestamp.
I'm looking on the phone.
Here, this video at 136. You can see the body floating, and that's when it starts going through the right before the door opens and you see the cartoon wall. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, there
that
it
body is not human. And it's not a Van Duel.
That is not. How did we miss that?
That's a Xi'an. Because it's stocky. You can get that stocky look for it. It just flayed out.
Also, what is that animal just before that?
Yeah, exactly. It's like a big alloprad.
Yeah, it's like a big alloprad. Yeah.
Yeah, but is it an actual big alloprad or is it something else?
Could be.
That thing is. Look at the size of it next to the door. That's a good 1.5 meters tall, whatever that is.
Yeah. I mean, well, that one is
eating
difficult.
something. It's a predator. You can tell. It's got sharp teeth.
You do not want that as a pet. You do not want that as a pet.
Yeah, exactly. That's not freaking cute. Like fuzzball with anime eyes.
Go away, Darsh. We like cool, not cute.
All right. With that, I think we have a good discussion because I think I'll finish up my discussion because it's I think it's the Banu, then the Xi'an and the Van Duel. Probably the Van Duel first, the Xi'an, and then lastly the Devarin. Because the Devarin are the one species that we have not even fully. They haven't even fully fixed their language yet, and so it's clearly they're not. It's not their like main goal. But we'll see. Anyways, thank you so much for Axis and Darj and Fastcart from joining us tonight. We're going to be going on to our question and answer session. As far as I know, the bot's still working, so we're good for that one. If you did enjoy this so far, make sure you check out Axis at Axis0096 on
I have a
Twitch.
friend.
And Darj, I see flying around. Darj, check out jrdf.sc. And for Fastcart, check out Soul Citizens as well as quantumvegas.space to see Fastcart myself hanging out there.
And remember, the prices is going up, but it's extended till June 10th, so it's still $99. And we had a special announcement yesterday. Sandy Roberts will be participating, so she's going to be there. So
Sandy Roberts will be there. Sandy Gardner Roberts.
And Sean Tracy.
And Sean Tracy. Well, yeah, we knew Sean was going to be coming. I will say, I have promised that I will hunt down Sean and ask what will it take to get mechs into the game, because for those of you who don't know Sean Tracy is the you change your shirt to the Starlancer shirt. But Sean Tracy is
take it off.
Is famously the one of the Tracys. Him and his brother did MechWarrior Living Legends, which was a mod for the original Crisis that turned Crisis into a MechWarrior game, which was a full blown it's full blown.
Is that how he got the job at Crytek?
Yes,
or was it just a side project at Crytek?
That's how he got his job at Crytek.
Nice.
Because MechWarrior Living Legends was a full blown. It's got mechs, but it also had tanks and flyers and infantry. So it was like the full combined arms experience with MechWarrior. And so because of that, I'm gonna be push him to be like, what mech and Star Citizen. So make sure you check that out. Of course, if you did like this, please hit that follow button on Twitch, subscribe to us on YouTube, hit the like button if you're watching this after the fact, and hit the bell icon to be notified when these release. And if you are watching this after the fact, in the comments below, let us know what you thought on any of the aliens that we talked about. If where do you think is coming next? What ships you'd like to see? Let me know in the comments below. And like I always say, hope to see you someday in the black.
In the black!
Who's your daddy?